What are the ramifications for Bryce Young being benched? That is a very loaded question. There is a lot to unpack with this. The ramifications of sitting the former number one overall pick. And I know we are well beyond Bryce Young sitting on the bench, but as we now get into weeks, months potentially after this decision has been made, what are the downstream impacts? And I think number one overall, who is the future of this franchise? That's probably the biggest question in this entire situation. Who becomes the quarterback of the future? Because you thought when you traded up for Bryce that he was going to be the future. This decision is now causing you to pivot, to completely rethink the quarterback. And now you've got to figure out not just next year and the next year, years out from now. Because we thought coming into this, okay, if you have Bryce Young, if Bryce Young does hit, if he does develop, if he checks the boxes, you've got a quarterback for 5 to 10 years at least. Hopefully more than that if he's really a franchise quarterback and the number one overall pick. You hope you can ride him out. He's on a rookie contract, and then you figure something else out. That doesn't seem to be the case now. So it is a big impact there because now the Panthers have to turn their attention to finding the quarterback for next year because all signs are leading to Bryce Young likely not being back. If you were trying to put in bullet point number 2 of the ramifications, I think number 2 is Bryce Young is likely traded off of this team before the deadline or at some point in the offseason. Somebody's going to come in and pick him up. That opens up a bigger hole. And again, those continuous questions about who is taking over the front, the team, who's going to do it? Who's going to run the show as the quarterback? Because now you're stuck again. And sure, you can go find an Andy Dalton for another year or two or bring in whatever veteran you want. The other thing about it, if you talk about number 3, the ramifications of this thing, you now got to figure out, can you afford whoever it is? You're likely going to pay more money or similar. It's got to be more money than what Bryce has on his rookie contract, even though he's number one overall and it's $30 million total over the course of it. You now have to figure that out. You also don't have a 5th-year option available. That's one of the nice things about having a number one overall pick, a first-round quarterback. You could extend, bring out that 5th-year option, paying for a little bit less than what you would have to pay someone else. I mean, now you're stuck, man. You're going to be stuck trying to find, and can you find an affordable quarterback? When you have a defense that's depleted, when you talk about the downhill effects, who's our quarterback for next year? How much are we going to have to pay them? How much are you getting in return for Bryce Young? And then how is that money coming off of the offense? Because you're taking money away from, or you're seeping money into the offense. And now, how's that taking it away from the defense? The defense needs it way more. And when you had Bryce on the rookie contract and you have Bryce and or if he's contributing on the field, makes a big difference. The downstream impact of this is just, it's rough. And we're not even talking about the draft capital. That one hurts way worse when you think about how this team continues to miss. You missed with the number one overall pick, folks. This isn't a swing and a miss with pick 575. There's not even that many picks. 250 or pick 100. You missed number one overall. That sets your franchise back so far. Number one overall picks should be franchise changing players. 5 to 10 plus years. I mean, really, I'm laying this thing back. It should be 10 years. 10 plus years, at least, for a quarterback. And here we are. Panthers thinking through this trade, too, with the capital, the players they gave up. I mean, we could spend all day talking about that, but we're talking about the impacts of being benched. And that's where we land, folks. And it's a tough one. It's not going to be much better. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all.